first plant that we came across as we walked along the seafront was the plain treasure flower, or Cape dandelion, with its lovely golden yellow flowers. This grass is called the golden top grass, or the golden dog's tail. The toothed medic, or burr clover, is a member of the bean family. The common mallow was spotted in several locations. The first succulent plant we encountered was this Carpobrutus species, with the common name Sally my Handsome. It occurred in great big swathes and was covered in these beautiful pink magenta flowers. It was being kept in a fairly narrow band along the seashore, but it's clear that this could become quite rampant. It is obvious why it's becoming an invasive species in a number of locations. Another invasive species often found around the Mediterranean is Agave americana. Our first insect here is a darkling beetle. Carpobrutus edulis was the second species of this genus that was occurring in this location, this time with yellow flowers and slightly differently shaped leaves. The common stalkspill is a member of the geranium family. Lunaria pedunculata was seen in several locations, with its interesting and colourful flowers. This pigeon was posing nicely for its photograph to be taken. This sedge is a Mediterranean coastal species and was first described back in 1771. This Dresanthemum, or dew plant, was in a container outside some shops. This perennial species is called Bermuda grass. A number of plants and trees of various species were planted out around the shopping area. Towards the port we came across another area that was covered in Carpobrutus edulis, and also, in amongst them, some Opuntia ficus indica. There were several other species planted out here as well, including Agave attenuata, an aloe, and Yucca gloriosa. This European sea rocket is often found around the coastlines and is a member of the mustard family. Another attractive small growing species that we saw was this sea medic. Despite its common name of the sea holly, this plant is not actually a member of the holly family. This tree tobacco was originally a native of South America, but it has become an invasive species in many of the warmer parts of the world. The lesser sea spurry is a salt-tolerant species and is often found near the sea. Walking along the seafront in the opposite direction, a number of plant species could be seen in hotel gardens and parks. As we reached the edge of the main holiday area, we started to encounter more native species of plants. The crown daisy is native to the Mediterranean region, and its leaves can be used as a vegetable. The common or French tamarisk is a deciduous tree that can grow up to about 5 metres tall. We also observed the sea storksbill, buckshorn plantain, and the silver nail root. The Cretan weed, or scaly hawkbit, is a native species of the Mediterranean region. This echium has the common names of the purple viper's bugloss or Patterson's curse, named because it contains poisons that can harm livestock. This sea beet is an ancestor of beetroot and sugar beet. This giant reed lives up to its name and generally grows up to 6 metres, but in ideal conditions can exceed 10 metres. We also saw the Bermuda buttercup, the long-headed poppy, and another example of the sea medic. As we entered the wilder parts, you can see that there's a lot of invasive species growing around here. More Carpobrutus, several Opuntia species, and also Agave americana. The Aleppo pine is a native of the Mediterranean region. Acacia saligna is a native of Australia. However, this has become an invasive species around many areas of the world. The villous deadly carrot is a perennial plant. It has been used for medicinal purposes since the 3rd century BC. Amongst the insect life that we encountered were these ground beetles. This blue-flowered form of the scarlet pimpernel was very attractive. This oxalis has become a pest plant in many parts of the world. Originating in South Africa, it propagates through underground bulbs. This sandstock is a member of the cabbage family and has very attractive pink flowers. The speckled wood butterfly is a very widespread species. Its caterpillars feed mainly on various types of grass. This species of lizard occurs in Spain, Portugal and North Africa. It usually occurs in dense bushy vegetation and eats mainly insects. Various examples of darkling beetles were seen scurrying around on the sandy areas that we passed. A variety of bird species were seen flying around and sitting on this wonderful lake. As well as various darters flying around the edges of the lake, there were also various species of insects within the water itself. Here there were plenty more examples of the plain treasure flower, this time being visited by a honeybee. This pretty little plant is an annual member of the daisy family. And another plain treasure flower, this time being visited by these shiny green beetles. Into the more wooded area, and we can see here plenty of invasive opuntias taking up vast areas of land. The spotted rock rose is an annual species but has very attractive flowers. As you can see, this area was rich in a wide variety of different flowers. The sandplain lupin has gorgeous blue flowers and was spread over a wide area. The red-veined darter is a common species of dragonfly. These beetles had interesting markings on the abdomen. This philago is a small annual species and is a member of the sunflower family. Here we can see a wide range of different species, including the lupins, growing happily, partially shaded by the trees. Asphodelus ramosus, or the branched asphodel, is a perennial herbaceous plant. It is differentiated from its close relatives by having a highly branched inflorescence and smaller fruits. The mastic tree is an evergreen shrub or small tree which can grow up to 4 meters tall. It is often cultivated for its aromatic resin. This sea rocket is a common plant in the mustard family. It has widespread distribution in Europe, North Africa, and Western Asia, especially on the coastlines. Soda ash used to be obtained from the ashes of this species. It is an important alkali substance used in glass making and soap making. This Moorish gecko, like most of the lizards, was very camera shy, and you can see how well camouflaged it was against the bark of the tree. This species is well adapted to dry, sunny environments and is often found in coastal dunes and sandy habitats. Sea knotgrass is a perennial herb that grows on beaches above the limit of the highest tides. The cottonweed plant is a small perennial species that grows in dune areas throughout the Mediterranean and helps with stabilising the sandy soils. The welted thistle is a biennial herb in the daisy family. Cardoon, or artichoke thistle, has grey-green hairy leaves. This plant had me intrigued as to what it was. It had very distinctive leaves and was growing all over the place. However, as soon as we saw a flower, it was obvious what family it belonged to. It has many common names, such as sea bindweed, shore bindweed, shore convolvulus, and the beach morning glory. Sea thrift grows in coastal areas across the Northern Hemisphere. It is also widely grown as a garden plant. The soap aloe is a native of southern Africa, and this example here has probably escaped from cultivation. This Algerian tea plant grows in sandy, dry areas. The purple milk thistle is a biennial plant growing up to about 1 metre tall. The common name of this species is the sage-leafed rock rose. The giant reed gets its name from the Latin and Greek names for reed. Here we have another example of a lizard staying very still or moving very quickly to evade capture on film. The pale or narrow leaf flax has pale blue petals with darker blue lines along them. The spotted rock rose is an annual plant with flowers that are attractive both to the human eye and to insects. Tolpis barbata is another attractively flowered member of the daisy family. Here we have a couple of examples of some of the wildflower meadows that we saw. Another annual species is this horned red or ruby dog. Bellardia is a monotypic genus, which means there is only one species in it. There are about 80 species of bumblebee scarab beetles, and these are distributed worldwide. This annual species has distinctive yellow flower heads, which are said to superficially resemble hop flowers. And so came to the end a fun trip with lots of wildlife observations.